Hello, hello. All right. Just bringing up trying to remember what colors. I forget to pay attention to that part. Okay, so first we're gonna do this little one over here, and then we're gonna work on some of the greenery. Happy Friday to you! Okay, whoops. And get my colors out. We need some purple. Okay. So we're gonna be working with the DMC 3834 and the DMC 648 today for this little vase pot thing. All right. This is being weird. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of satin stitch first, and then we'll do this stripe. Just wanna round this out a little bit. Okay. And then let me just make this a little straighter. We're just gonna do one red stripe across, or purple stripe across that. Okay. Satin stitch first. Because I'm gonna have stuff coming out the top, I'm gonna put my knot down here. I'm gonna start down here and then we'll go from there. So just like we've already been doing with the satin stitch. And then we'll do a chain stitch on the next part. Okay? We'll learn some new stuff in a little while. How is everyone's hoops looking? Are you keeping up? Is it too much for one day at a time? I'm trying to decide what to do for next week and whether or not to stay with this 1 o'clock time or move back to a morning time. I work most weeknights, so evenings don't really work this semester. So we're looking at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I think I'll put a poll in my stories and go from there. Monday for sure will be at 1. I'm the extra caretaker for all my friends. So when they don't have daycare, I end up with extra kids. So I have one friend, I'm watching her kids this week. And then I have another friend that has a dentist appointment on Monday. So I have her little one. Let's see, I want that straight. Anyway, so she'll be here in the morning. So 1 o'clock on Monday. But then the rest of the week we could move to 10 if that's easier for anyone. And then the recorded version is just available whenever people. I think I am caught up on YouTube. Oh, shoot, I didn't upload yesterday's. I'll do that as soon as we're done here. I'm doing way better this time than I was last time, though. I would do like 3 or 4 days at a time. So I'm feeling better about that. At least I'm keeping up a little. Hey, little latecomers. I'm just satin stitching this gray part, and then we're gonna do some chain stitch for the center stripe. Hey, Lisa. Hi, Christy. I love it when you guys come live. Makes it a little bit more fun. Okay. There is a little bit of a gap. Let me redo this really quick. Hold on. I forget. I need this to go right up next to the green, or else I will be annoyed when I erase my lines. See how uneven that was? That's hard to get back in a needle. So I just trim it off. Okay. Come up a little bit more. And then we will be ready for something new. Okay, one more stitch here. And then I think I'm just gonna bring my needle up and I want to do a little bit of a lip on here, so I have a little piece that goes here, but I want to wait until I put the greenery in. So I'm just going to bring my needle over, my thread over here, and just get it out of the way like I've been doing. Don't do that if that stresses you out. Okay, so let's do some chain stitch. Oh, we've got children slamming doors. Okay. Chain stitch is one of my favorites. I think it looks so fun and it's fairly simple. So that's always good. Okay, so I'm gonna start over here because that's where my knots are. And what we're gonna do is come up and down. So we did the detached chain stitch yesterday. So today we're doing the same, but we're attaching them instead of having them separate. So we've got our open loop here, just like we did yesterday. And we're gonna come up and pull it snug. And then we're gonna go back down in this same hole and create our next loop, okay? Whoops. Then we're gonna come up and pull it snug and go back down in that same hole. So instead of going down on the other side and tacking that loop down, we're tacking it down by connecting it with another loop. And then when we get to the end, then we'll tack down the end. Like that. So I'm trying to decide. I probably could have fit 2 in there. So I used 6 strands, so it's pretty thick, but it's not quite filling the space like I was wanting it to. I might have to sit on that for a minute. I'm gonna leave it for now, but so that's a chain stitch, just a really little one. Okay, how do we feel about that little bit? Little tiny chain stitch. I normally like reverse chain stitch, but when you're working around other threads, like that satin stitch that we're working around, a reverse chain stitch is really hard because you're like weaving under your chain stitches. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so let's do some of the greenery. So I'm gonna get out my darker green, which is 935. This is cute. Reverse is my fave. Yeah, reverse is nice, but I don't like it when I'm working around other stitches. I've learned that this is just easier to just do a regular chain stitch than try and weave around stuff like that. So, okay, now this is where we can start splitting some threads because I think on the pattern, I have like detached chain stitch, which I think we'll still do. We're just gonna use less strands. So I'm gonna grab Love Reverse 2 out of a crowded area. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm just gonna do 2 strands to keep these like nice, like really delicate, because I'm afraid if we do more that it's just gonna be really, really bulky. So I just get my thread and I pull my 2 apart, and then I put my finger here and I just untwist this and just pull slowly. And then if you can't pull anymore because it's all twisted, this is all twisted up. So then I just let it go. And then I can untwist this some more. Okay, So then we have our 2 strands out. Okay, so we've already learned stem stitch when we did this brown around the edge. So you can use that if you liked it. I'm just gonna do a back stitch because I kind of like the guide that it creates for when I'm doing this type of leaf, because we're gonna use a detached chain stitch to make like these little tiny leaves. So I like to have like a little gap, like that's where I'm gonna put my leaves. Okay, so when I'm doing this type of greenery, I like to start with a detached chain stitch at the top, and then I do my back stitch to the bottom, and then I go back up and do the leaves. I don't know why, it's just what I do. The order makes sense in my head. So we're gonna do like a detached chain stitch like we've been doing and tack that down. Hold on, I gotta create a longer tail, hold on. That thread was too long. Okay, so now our thread ended here, so we can come back up here and do our back stitch. Okay, so I'm trying to imagine like where I want my leaves to go. So I'm gonna do a back stitch to here. And then when I come back up to do my leaves, I'll do 1 leaf here. So the same goes for this one. I'm just gonna go down to where I want my next leaf. And that'll just kind of create my little guide of where things are gonna go. Hold on. We'll do 1 more here. Ah! I've got too many threads all over the place. Okay, and then for every, it's a little fuzzy on there. For every back stitch, I'm gonna do 1 leaf. So I'm gonna do 1 here at the very bottom. Just make sure your last one is a back stitch so that it's, so that you can go back into that same hole. I'm pulling threads from tails. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here on this back stitch and go on the other side. Back in that same hole. Do a little leaf over here. See, even with 2 strands, like this is pretty, like that's kind of a lot of thread. So we're gonna go on this next one. Whoops. What is going on back here? Hold on. Okay. This loop did not get pulled all the way through. I'm like, what is going on? It was like pulling it funny. Okay. And then we've got 1 more little leaf. Okay, so now we've got 1 done. And then we'll come over here and do our next one. So because these are like laying on top of each other, so don't worry about that. We're just gonna stitch right over the top of everything. Okay, so I just want to kind of pay attention to where my other leaves are. So since I already have a leaf here, when I do this one, I'm not going to do one at the very bottom like I did last time. So I'm just going to come up to this one and do it on this side, because otherwise it's like really on top of this one. So you kind of have to just change it up depending on, whoop. Oh, hold on. I forgot I ended there because I was doing a back stitch. Let me do this again and end at the bottom. So you kind of have to plan ahead, like what you're gonna do. We'll have one over here. And since that one only has two, and I don't want it to be like blank over here, I'm just gonna put one more just right next to it. There. It's looking wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna just do one more over on this side. I'm just gonna do one more. Oh, it's just a short one. But then I'm going to come down here and do one on the side. Just a little one. And then I'm going to do one on this side again. And then decide if I want one next to it on the other side. Yeah, I want to do one more. This is twisted. Okay. Oop. There we are. So we've got that one side done. So you kind of just have to decide like where you want leaves to go and then just make it happen. So we're going to come up and do this big one. So this one will for sure be on top of this one next to it because it just is. So I'm just going to go right over top of that. I'm going to end it right here though. I'm not going to do one all the way down to the bottom of the vase just because I don't think it'll make a difference. Like you can't tell that it doesn't go into the vase. It'll just make it messy down here if I do another one. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So you kind of just have to like step back, look at it, and decide how crowded you want things to be. Sometimes if I have the space, I'll do like this, like I'll do one on each side of the stem, and then if I don't have space, then I just do one every other side. So depending on what kind of a look you're going for, like this would be crowded if I did another one over here, but this space needs one. So I'm gonna do two on the same side. And you can always go back and add more, so don't feel like, I don't know, I always do less in the beginning because I can always add more later if I need to. I kind of just do what feels right now, and then decide if it needs more once I get to the top and like step back and look at it. Because it's a lot harder to take them out than it is to add some extras. So I would rather be a little conservative in the beginning and then add more if needed. Okay. What do we think? One more over here for sure. And then I think I might still do one more little sprig, just a small one that kind of overlaps the green bottle next to it. Like one right here. So you kind of have to have a little bit of creativity and decide where you want to put things as you're working on your own. I believe in you. You can't see it very well anyways because these greens are like different shades of the same color. So it's a little bit harder to see, but I think we can just leave it like that. Just with that one and nothing there. I don't know, maybe we need to... We went down right there though. Dun, 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 dun. Do we need any other leaves? I'm trying to decide. I'm just gonna put one in here. Hey, Sarah. Then I can come back over here and do this one over here on the side. There. I feel good about that. That's cute. Okay, let me tie this off and then we can do that little gray just on the top of the vase. And then let me look at the time. It's 1:30, so we have time to do a little bit of the greenery on the gray and blue vase. Hold on, just trying to thread this needle. So I'm just going to come up here and just do like that. See if I can get it to focus on it. There we go. Once we erase lines, I might outline that depending on how it's looking. Right now, I don't think it needs it, but... All right. Yes, dear. More yogurt? Okay, when I'm done with this class, then I can get you some more yogurt. Okay. Okay. Pretty. Very cute. I like it. I am super excited with how this is turning out. I just think it's so cute. Okay, so let's move over to here, and we'll just do the greenery on this. What, honey? Okay, I'll be in there in a little bit. I'm almost done. So I want to do the lighter green on this. We're just going to do the greenery, and then we'll do the flowers next week. So, all right. Let's get out some green. Let's see how many strands this is. Perfect. This is 3 strands. So this is the DMC 3364. That's what we're going to do. And I've got 3 strands from from when I was outlining the green bottle on the side. I just have 3 left over, so kind of works out nicely. All right, so because we have a little bit more space, let's do something fun with these stems. I really like a whipped backstitch, so let's do that. So with a whipped backstitch, it kind of creates a similar look to the stem stitch, but you just do it differently. So we start out with a backstitch. I'm going to start down at the bottom because with a whipped backstitch, we backstitch and then we whip it, and then I'll end here. So then I can move here and go up and down and then just move over to the next one. So it'll just make it a little bit easier for our workflow. Okay, so the smaller your stitches, the more twisting that will be there. So you could just do 2 big stitches and be done. But I want to show you how cute and twisted this can get with a whipped back stitch, okay? So because of how we want it to end with a back stitch, I'm just going to back stitch this whole thing instead of going forward, backward like I usually do. Okay, so there's our back stitch with just 4 little stitches, and then we're going to come back up where we back up at the top, use that same hole, and then what we're going to do is whip it. So we're going to go under each back stitch, and we're going to go the same way. You can either go left to right or right to left. It'll just change the way it looks, like twisted, but it doesn't matter. You just need to stick with whatever way you do it. So I like right to left. Okay, and then we're going to go back down in that same hole. So you see how it just creates like a cute little twisted, and how similar, let me zoom out. So it looks super similar to this stem stitch, but, well, and it's less strands, so it's not quite as chunky, but this is really fun to do with 2 colors, to do a back stitch and then whip it with a second color. Just gives it like some fun color differentiation. Is that a word? Okay, so this one's a little shorter, so it's only going to be 3. So I really like a whipped back stitch, like for lettering, because it just like connects your back stitches, so it just creates like a smoother line. Because like look, it's like, look at them next to each other, just a back stitch, and then whipping it just like makes it a little bit smoother. So just be careful when you're working around like other threads that you don't snag anything. So if you're going right to left, you could have done your stems right to left, because then when you're weaving, there will be nothing there. So sorry, I'm leading you astray a little. I don't really think about that because it doesn't bother me to do that, but if you think that's going to trip you up, then start on the right and move left, or just whip it left to right, which I think is harder for right-handed people. It's not my favorite way to do things. I like this for stems a lot too because it just looks so cute. But really, like anything, like if you're outlining anything. Hey, you guys. Shh. So after we get these stems in, we'll go back in and add some leaves. And we'll stay on brand and do some, I don't know, I guess we've done detached chain stitch already. Should we do something else for these leaves? All right, we're almost there. I think we'll do something different for the leaves because why not? If you don't like them, you can always do that vase, and the long stems look so elegant. Ah, yes! I really like it. It's like coming together just how I was imagining, so I'm thrilled. I can't wait to add like the pink flowers. I think are just gonna look so good with this gray and blue and green. So, okay, so there we have our stems. Okay, so let's go back in and add some leaves. I really like to place stems, just stitch them as they come. So let's just do some straight stitches. So I'm going to come up here and do some longer ones, and then so what I'm going to do is come just down and over a little and then back into that same hole. So I'm thinking of these as kind of almost like tulip leaves, like just like skinny and kind of angled. And then I'm just going to do a smaller one over here. With maybe just 2 strands instead of 3. And then we can tie this off. Okay. Oh, let's see, it's got to go this way. Oh, my needle fell off. Hold on, so it's not zoomed in on my hand here. Okay, so we've got 2 and 1 strand, so I'm just going to pull 1 out, and then I'm going to tie a knot with those. I usually split it in half, but we don't have an even number, so. Just do like a double or a triple knot, and then I can trim that. Okay. All right, so we used our 3, so we should have another 3 strands in here.
Can I get this inside out?
Not right now, honey. Can you go ask Gemma to help you?
Okay.
Thanks, babe.
Gemma,
Okay, I'm just trying to find my other piece here. I must have used it. Okay, so I've just got this one more scrap. So let me just pull these threads apart real quick. Okay. I'm just gonna add in a few more leaves here. Okay. So I kind of just layer them in here. And then I don't want all of them on this side to start at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is do this one taller and come down to the bottom as well. So then when I do this one, I can start it up a little bit higher. I just like to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm kind of trying to plan ahead of what I'm doing with these. My husband just left for work. Love you too, babe. Okay. He is very sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to do one on this side. And then this one I'll do up a little bit so it's not down to the bottom. Molly, he doesn't have to, honey. Okay, I'm going to do this one down to the bottom, and then I'll decide if I want to do one on the other side up a little higher. Yeah, I think so. We'll just do one, just a small one right here. All right, there we go. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to add the flowers to this. Like, I wish I had time and I could just do them right now, but I don't. So that is it for the day. We did this vase with the greenery and then the greenery over here. I think we're making good time on this. So next week we'll do this and then we'll move on to the top shelf and do some stuff up there. It's all very fun. Gosh, I'm excited. Okay. So you have the weekend to catch up. We're not doing any lives over the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, get caught up. I will be around, so go ahead and message me if you have questions or anything like that. I will get this today and yesterday up on YouTube as soon as possible. As soon as I get off here, I'll upload yesterday's. Yeah. So anyways, we will be back on Monday. It's gonna be fun. So thanks for joining in, and I will see you. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Lisa. You have a good weekend too. Bye, guys.